In this video, we're going to look at the sales pipelines in MagManager. Basically what it does is it provides you with a visual overview of where your clients are in your sales process, which allows you to see at a glance where each client is and allows you to plan what you need to do in order to process these clients from being a prospect through to making a sale. So the first part we're going to look at are the search options that are available to you so that you can add clients to your pipeline. So the first step is to click on Clients in the top navigation bar, and we're going to look at the Active tab. I'm going to switch on Primary Contacts Only, and in the first example I'm going to look for clients that were booked in the last issue. So to do that, I click on the drop down box here under Last Booking and select June. And that's going to return all the clients who were booked in the June issue. Now they're automatically selected by default. You can turn the selection on or off for all of them by clicking in the checkbox in the header bar, or you can turn them on and off individually, whichever suits you, but I'm going to turn them all on. So the next step is to click Create List. I need to give it a name. And then I'm going to add to pipeline. So I click on the Please Select drop down box there and select New Pipeline. The next step would be to assign it to, and you can choose a user from the drop down menu, or if you leave it as Please Select, it will become a shared pipeline, meaning that all the users in your MagManager account can see the pipeline, and then click Save. So I'll very quickly go over to the pipelines by clicking in Pipelines in the top navigation bar, and then I'm going to select the pipeline, which is Sales 1, and you can see that I have 7 clients listed in the prospects list. So I'm now going to go back to clients, and I'm going to look at a few other ways that I can add clients onto my pipeline. So the first option is I'm going to use the flags to do a search. So if I click on the little funnel to the left of the word flags in the flag column, and then I'm going to select page 3. So it is page 3, and this time I'm on the All Clients column. So currently I have page 3 available in this issue, so I'm going to just this is a way of me contacting or having everybody on the list that has expressed an interest in page 3. So they're all listed there. So this time I'm adding them to an existing pipeline. So again, I click on Create List, Add to Pipeline, and I select Sales 1 and Save. And that will add those clients onto my pipeline. Okay, so next I'm going to look at clients that are in a section that has food in the name. So I'm typing food in the search box, and you can see here under section it's bringing up all the clients that have food and drink in their name there. So that's ideal. I'm going to be doing a feature on food and drink in this issue, so it's ideal to add these to my pipeline. So again, you can see they're all selected, and then I click Create List, Add to Pipeline, and select Sales 1 and Save. This time you'll see that it's brought up that 3 of them are already in a current pipeline, so Sales 2. Now that's assigned to Danielle, so I'm quite happy with that. I know that these clients are already being looked after. Danielle's dealing with them, so I can click Close, but the others will be added to my pipeline. So I'm now going to go onto the Active tab, and this time I'm looking for clients who were booked in 6 months ago. So in my February issue, so I'm going back to February, and you can see it's brought up a few people who were last booked in February, and I'm going to add them again to an existing pipeline. So this time it's click Create, Add to Pipeline, Sales 1 and Save. As I mentioned previously, these these ones are already in a pipeline and Danielle's looking after them. So it's worth bearing in mind that a client can only be in one sales pipeline at a time. They cannot be in multiple pipelines. So I now want to add some prospects to my pipeline. So I'm now going to click on the prospects tab and I'm going to add some prospects to my pipeline. So you can see there's, if I turn on primary contacts, we've got 150 entries. So that's a few too many to add to one pipeline. So I'm just going to select the ones that I wish to add. So I'm going to delete the checkbox there and just then reselect the ones that I wish to add to my pipeline. So I've done that, and then I click on create list, add to existing pipeline. So I choose the sales one and click save. So a few are already in Danielle's pipeline, that's fine. I can just close that and the others will be added to my pipeline. And finally, the last search option to add clients to the timeline would be to add them from an existing list. So I'm going to click on the list that I've created called Lisa, and I've got 3 there that I can add. So again, it's a case of clicking manage lists this time and then add to pipeline and select the sales one, and I'm going to leave it assigned to please select and press save. So those 3 will be added to my pipeline. So I'm now going to click on pipelines, and that's going to take me to the pipelines, and we can now have an overview of the pipeline board. So you can search for a client by clicking on pipeline search, and if you click on the name, it'll quickly go down, flash, and you can see the client card there. If I scroll back up, it'll also keep a track of any provisional sales. It'll keep a track of confirmed sales, and there's also the option to clear the pipeline. So clicking on there brings up the option, are you sure you want to clear all the cards on this pipeline? So if you click clear, it will delete all the cards across all lists on the pipeline. So I'm just going to click close on that for now. And then over to the far right, the drop down box lets you switch between different pipelines. If you wish to add a client to any of the individual boards, you can do so by clicking on the plus sign to the right hand side of the header. So you just click there, type in the client name and click add, and the client will be added to the top of your list. Should you wish to delete a client, it's simply a case of clicking on the little bin icon and then clicking remove, and the client will be removed from the list. So we're going to have a quick overview of the client cards now. You can see the different colours. So the green indicates that this client has a future booking. The pink indicates that they have a provisional booking. The yellow shows that they've previously booked and that it was in the last issue. And the grey indicates that they've previously booked, and it'll show you the date of the issue they were last booked in. And red indicates that they've no bookings. To the right is the action icon, so we can see this one has no future actions. And we have phone, letter, email and other. If you hover over the date, it'll show you it shows you the due date of the action, and a little snippet will display with what the action is. If the action is overdue, it will appear in red, and again hovering over you can see a snippet, and the icon will also turn red. In the top left hand corner, the company flags will display that are attached to that client. If you come down, there's the bin icon, obviously to delete the client card. The first initials there will show you the name of the last action. So it's the name of the user who added the last action to that client card, and then the initials of the user that's assigned to this client. in the bottom left corner, if you click on the little note icon, it'll bring up a snippet of the note. And if you click on the company name, it brings up the name of the client contact and their contact details. If you click on view, it'll take you straight to the client record and it takes you to the booking screen. So you can go ahead and quickly make a booking for that client. So I'm just going to click back and we'll go back to the pipeline screen. To move the client cards through your sales pipeline, it's simply a case of hovering over the card, left clicking your mouse, and you can move them through your pipeline. And as you go, you can click on the action icon, update the action that's required, and then continue to move them right through the lists to the sold one. So when you start out, they will all be in your prospects column, so you can just take a few minutes to move them to the column that they should be in. So for example, this one has a provisional booking, so I'm going to move them to hot lead. The deli, they were booked in the previous issue, so they're pretty much a warm lead. Green lawns, yep, I can move them to a lead. They've not been in for quite a while though. And Lear and Rusty, obviously they've had no contact, no bookings, so they're pretty much a prospect. So I'll just move the others where they need to be and then I'll come back. Okay, so I've now got them all in place, although I can see that O'Neill Drainage, although they haven't booked, we have been in touch with them previously and they have a media pack and are due a follow-up. So I think really we want to move them over into the leads list. The thing to bear in mind really is that anything that is red, so whether they've no bookings and no actions, or the date is in red, or the icon is in red, it really means that it requires an action from you to keep them moving along. So just bear that in mind. So I'm now going to look at the settings for the icons and show you where you can update those. So if you click on the gear icon at the top of the screen, and under customers and actions, if you click on contact types, it'll show the different contact types there and the relevant icons. So to edit any of these, simply click on the name, and you need to ensure that sales action is ticked there. That one needs to be on in order for it to show up in the pipeline. So you can edit the name, the icon, and also the colour. And you would click save. To add a new icon, it's simply a case of clicking new contact type, entering a name, ensuring that both of these sales action and enabled are turned on, choose your icon and your colour and save, and then the new icon would be added to your contact types list. The pipelines, we'll look at the settings for these now. So if you click on the gear icon, top of the screen, and then under publications and bookings, we're looking for pipelines. So if you click there. Now to delete a pipeline, it's simply a case of clicking delete. The only time this option will be available to you is when there are no cards on the pipeline. So that's the client cards. So in this case, we can see that this board shows as 0, so that's absolutely fine. We can just go ahead and click delete. And that pipeline is deleted. If you want to edit the pipeline, simply click on the pipeline name. You can edit the sales name, the colouring, and the name of each list. You can also move the list by hovering the 3 lines there and then dragging and dropping them into the position. But we'll just leave that where it is for now. You can also edit the icons. Again, you can update the name if required, change your icon and the colouring, and you would just click save. You can also add a new list to your pipeline, and to do that you'd simply click on the plus sign.